So I want to welcome everybody today to our Lunch and Learn for SALT Talks. We are going to be talking about AngelSense today. For those who don't know who I am, my name is Patty Schramm. I'm the Parent Resource Coordinator for the SALT Talks series, which we host several meetings a month, and you can find our schedule and everything on the Google Salt Drive and Live Binder. But we wanted to address this month was addressing topics that related to independent living. So far this month, we've talked about Home Sweet Home, about housing. We've talked about transportation. We had a short budgeting course last night with the teens. And we had some various ones. Now, next week, we'll be talking about life skills with Amy Duncan from Cincinnati Children's, the Kelly O'Leary Center. So that'll be a really good presentation next Tuesday night at 6. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to our speaker tonight is Jeannie, or tonight, it's not tonight, it's noontime, noon. So we're only for 30 minutes, but we're going to turn it over and hear about AngelSense with Jeannie Callahan, and she'll be here. She's also, I understand you're not only a representative, but also a parent.
Yes, I am. I thank you so much for having us with us today. And I'm looking at all the boxes like the Brady Bunch, but I think my colleague Caitlin is here. So if she is, I wanted to give her an opportunity to say hi as well.
Hi, everyone. I'm Caitlin Daigle. I'm the Director of Business Development, and lucky and fortunate to be Jeannie's colleague. You're going to have a great presentation, and I'm just going to let her take it away since we're really short on time. Okay. But I would love for you guys to think about, in the meantime, how we can really empower families to ask their SSAs for these types of services and just promote overall awareness about their options that they have. If you could suggest that to me in the meantime, I would really appreciate it. But off to you, Jeannie.
Okay, thank you. So hi again, and thank you so much for letting us join you today. I am Jeannie Callahan. I'm actually in New York. I live just north of New York City, and I am the mom of 2 children with autism. Tommy is 9 years old and Bridget is 11. They were both diagnosed just under 3. Both at the time were nonverbal, thankfully are very verbal. The trick is getting them to stop talking now. But when Tommy was just before his 3rd birthday, over the span of 5 weeks, he started eloping, and he at the time was nonverbal, and we lived on the water at the time. So you can just imagine what that was like for me as a mom. The last time he had gone missing, it was just about dark, and he was running barefoot towards a main road that was very highly trafficked. And thank God we found him just before he made it right there. I still get a little choked up when I talk about it. You can imagine those memories never leave a mother ever. But we did have to research some options for us because of the fact that we could not find him, especially being nonverbal. So we researched, we found AngelSense, and we started to become users immediately. I can tell you he did take off since wearing AngelSense, but it was not 30 minutes anymore. It was literally 2 minutes. It would take us with the app, with the device to find him. So you can just, that whole span of time, so much can happen. And it just made us immediate believers. Now, previous job for me, I was a school administrator, but I had to leave my job because I had 2 children with autism. It was just not possible to have a job of that caliber. And so about 6 months after we were using the device, AngelSense reached out looking for people to work with them, and I jumped at the chance. They only hire moms or dads that use the device and have a child or a young adult or an elderly loved one with special needs. So it really does set us apart so much from other companies, because we can really relate to the people reaching out to us. So that's just a little background on me. I am going to share my screen and just go through a super quick presentation with you and show you a video. So just give me 1 second. And like I said, I'm not the most tech savvy, but I think I can do this. And here we go. Okay, so again, so that's me and that's Tommy. That's when he was a lot younger. But we did purchase this for Tommy based on the fact that he was an eloper. So safety was our primary concern. But I'm sure you understand that there are so many challenges in the special needs community. It's not necessarily just safety. As Tommy, thank God, does not elope anymore, but he does have autism. He does have a lot of social issues and a lot of challenges. So independence is a big thing for us right now. Being allowed to let him do things just in the neighborhood with me not standing over him, or as I always say, without an imprint of my hand on his wrist because I have to keep him near me. It is a huge challenge when you have a child with special needs. And down the road, ultimately, employment is a big challenge for the special needs community as well. Just a few little things here. 50% of children it's very underreported, but they will elope after the age of 4. And we know this is grossly underreported because so many families do try to handle this without the help of law enforcement or other types of search and rescue. And all the times that my son eloped, I only had to reach out to the police once. So if that's just me, just imagine how these numbers must be so heightened. Other things such as transportation, being able to put your child on the bus, but the typical child's as scary as it is on that, on those first days. And it's just so much more when you have a child with special needs. If they're being picked up properly, dropped off properly, walking from the bus to the school properly, possibly mistreatment on the bus from other kids or something. It's all things that trigger this need for something like AngelSense. And then something simply just like transitioning to a new environment, a change of schedule, being able to take transportation to a job independently. Oh, I just forwarded real quick the next slide. I told you I'm not tech savvy, I apologize. But again, these are all things that do trigger that need. And we do call this the vicious cycle of safety concerns. When you have a diagnosis of autism, you're going to have safety concerns immediately. And as a result of these safety concerns, the anxiety of parents just goes through the roof. You can see all the gray hairs here. That was part of it. And what we do, and it's at no fault of the parent, because we want what's best for our children, we are going to restrict their environments. I can tell you, birthday parties, going to big amusement parks, huge outings where I wasn't sure about all the exit locations. We restricted this for our kids because we were so afraid, given that they were nonverbal and have autism, that this would be something that they wouldn't be able to handle. And that very often can lead to maladaptive behaviors of the child because they're not interacting with others the way that they should. I mean, I think you all know with COVID, we saw even in typical children, a lot of regression because of the fact that they were at home and not able to interact with others. So you can imagine just when you have a child with autism and this becomes a daily occurrence, you can have such much more of an independent individual. We do believe that AngelSense does break this cycle, however, and I can be proof to the pudding there. It does allow children to practice independence. It does decrease their dependence on others, and ultimately their quality of life and the quality of life of the family unit as a whole is greatly increased. So what is AngelSense? It is a device that is a wearable device for children, young adults, adults with a special need. And through its analytic servers, there is an app for the caregiver or the parent who is able to interact and monitor them as they have needs. So I'm going to show you a quick video about this. And after that, I'll just show you the device and the app. So let me just get that started. If you can't hear this, please let me know. I think I did it right.
AngelSense is a safety and independence enhancing solution that includes a wearable GPS device with an assistive speakerphone, cloud-based analytics, and an app for multiple caregivers that allows for continual monitoring, proactive alerting, and remote support. AngelSense is proven to prevent elopements and other safety-related incidents, provide safer commutes, and allow a higher level of independence for individuals of all ages with autism and special needs. The device has several wearing accessories that are non-removable and designed to cope with sensory sensitivities. In addition, AngelSense provides premium customer care that is entirely staffed by special needs parents who use AngelSense with their own children. We provide families with full technical and user support, making it easy for them to get set up and use all of the features they need. AngelSense is on a mission to help as many families as possible, and it can be funded through HCBS Medicaid waivers or local funds in many states. We'd be happy to speak to you about AngelSense becoming a vendor or service provider for your organization. We are also happy to help with any bureaucratic processes that might expedite getting AngelSense to eligible families. AngelSense offers assistive technology for different abilities at every stage of life. We'll go through some use cases of how the features work to support families with their unique challenges like safety, transitions, providing a less restrictive environment, and well-being. For your families with younger children, who may be dealing with challenges like wandering, meltdowns, bullying, and safety constraints. AngelSense is there throughout the day to give caregivers, parents, and children peace of mind. For example, leaving home and getting to school safely. AngelSense helps children safely ride the bus to school, and gives parents access to see their exact route in real time, check their updated ETA, and get alerts upon departure and arrival, including getting off at the wrong stop. Once they've arrived safely, parents can monitor their child's activity and well-being, with the peace of mind of knowing they'll be alerted to unusual behaviors like an elopement. Parents can also check in during the day by using the assistive speakerphone that automatically answers. And during difficult moments, an SOS button on the device can be pressed to request a call for help. When an unexpected situation occurs, AngelSense's proactive alerting system immediately notifies parents, so they can quickly take action to ensure their child's safety. An alarm on the device can easily be activated and heard to find a child who is hiding or lost in a crowd. The customizable alarm sounds can also be used to teach valuable response strategies. In fact, by integrating AngelSense into therapy plans, our families have noticed that problem behaviors like eloping, meltdowns, and self-harm are able to be resolved in a shorter amount of time. And parents are able to support more independent activities, like letting their children walk the dog, check the mail, or play with friends on their own, without compromising safety. Knowing that if there is an emergency, they have the tools to find and get to their child as quickly as possible, while also being able to provide remote support with the assistive speakerphone. AngelSense also helps older children and teens realize more freedom and independence, and safely participate in activities like field trips, visiting friends' houses, or riding their bike around the neighborhood. As families age out of child services or leave a school environment, AngelSense's assistive technology enhances transition plans and increases the possibility of achieving a higher level of independence. As young adults, AngelSense is there to help individuals realize their goals. Whether it's going to college, or vocational school, or even living on their own, or in an independent living facility, getting a job or volunteering. For example, being able to safely travel independently can open up more job opportunities and decrease dependence on others. So many parents claim that AngelSense is the reason their children are able to be a part of the community, enjoy more independence, and experience a better quality of life. Our commitment to the special needs community is focused on helping individuals and families achieve things they never imagined possible. We have assisted hundreds of agencies, organizations, and police departments to help their families enjoy the many benefits of AngelSense. We look forward to working together to provide your families with maximum safety, independence, and peace of mind.
So that just kind of gives you a general overview of what AngelSense can do. I did want to show you the device and some of the accessories and how the app works as well. And like I said, I'll be very brief, and then hopefully we can open this up to some questions and answers if you have any. But this is AngelSense. It's extremely light and extremely thin. And just to give you kind of a frame of reference, this is my cell phone. So you can see it's very tiny and extremely thin. It's only about a couple of ounces. And it was specifically designed for people with special needs. So when a person gets a kit, the kit comes with these fabric sleeves. And typically the way that this is worn is that you would take the device and pop it inside the sleeve. And then you're also given magnetic keys and magnetic fasteners. So if you can envision the same type of electronic or safety little thingies they have on clothing in department stores, it's the same type of thing where you're able to pull the pin out from the fastener itself. And with the device inside the pouch, you can pin it to their clothing and then fasten it shut with the fastener. So for me, the device goes in here. This goes in my son's pants pocket. I put the pin through the pants pocket and the pouch, and I put the fastener on top so it's stuck in his pocket. He cannot remove it. Something like a watch for my son, or for a lot of kids with autism especially, they can't wear it. It's just not sensory friendly to them, and they're going to toss it. So this is how it was designed, so it cannot be removed. Now, I'm sure, as you know, there's a lot of kids out there, specifically kids with autism, that do take off their clothes, or they change their clothes frequently throughout the day, or possibly have toileting issues. So something like this might be harder to use for them because they have to constantly take it off and then put it into a new set of clothing. So we do have belts as well. The belt is made of a very sensory friendly material, and the device goes right inside here, and then it's worn underneath their clothing around their waist. And it is fastened shut as well, so they can't remove it or get it over their shoulders or over their hips. But this way, if clothing was removed or changed, or there was a toileting accident of some kind, the device would stay intact on the person wearing it. We also have undershirts. These are made of extremely sensory friendly material. My son actually calls it his Huggy. And the device can go right inside this pocket right here, and you wear it under your clothes. You can either wear it in the front or in the back. It really doesn't matter, but it is another option as well. Now, because this is also a device that's not just used for safety concerns, elopement, wandering, things like that, it's also a wonderful tool for independence. We have a lot of other accessories for somebody who may be more willing to wear it, and you're not worried about it falling off the body or off the clothing. So we do have belt clips. The device can pop right on the belt clip like this, and you can just pop it on your pants or your shorts or whatever the case may be, and it'll stay secured that way. And we also do have a watch band option. So if it is the way a person wants to wear it, you put the device right inside the watch band and just wear it as you would a regular watch. The bottom line is that there's really no wrong way to wear it. Everybody's different. Every child is different. Every loved one's different. So whatever works for you, as long as they're able to accept the device, is wonderful. So that's basically how it's worn. Now I'm going to share my screen again and show you the app. When a person gets AngelSense and we put their information into the actual device, they start getting a series of emails that welcomes them to the community, a really easy video on how to get started and how to download the app. So let me just share again. When you download the app, this is what you would see. Get my app here. Okay, so this is if you have a smartphone, a tablet, or even a computer. When you log in with your login information, this is exactly what you're going to come to see. You're going to see a live location of the person wearing the device. You don't have to activate the device at any time. It's always tracking. So this is the first time I've opened up my son's app today, but it shows you everything that he did throughout the entire day. So right here would be the first place that I want to start. This is the home location. When you plug the device in, it's immediately going to put what we call a geofence around the area. You can manipulate these geofences, though, if you need it to make this a little larger or smaller, or shift it from side to side, however you need to do it, you can do that. And these geofences are created automatically, no matter where the person goes, as long as they're in that location for about 4 to 5 minutes or so. And once you have that geofence set, whenever the person arrives or leaves the location, you're given a notification in the form of a push on your phone that says, in this case, Tommy has left home. And when you tap on the push notification, it will automatically pull up the app and it will show you where they are. So for me, the transit route is what would happen next. He leaves home, he goes on his transit route, and this is what it would look like. If this was in real time, this would update about every 30 seconds or so. But you can see the route that they're taking to school, and you can even see how fast that they're going. And I don't mean just to school. Wherever they're in transit, you could see how fast they're going at any given time. What's great about this, though, is if he was to deviate from his normal route, stop in a location he shouldn't be in, you're notified as well. So even if you see that, you put him on the bus, he goes on his way to school, you'd get notified if Tommy is not at school or he's at a location he should not be in. And then when he arrives at school, you are also, once he gets into this geofence, notified, and when he leaves, you're notified as well. And what's really cool about this too, is you can even set up arrival and departures. You can set up the time that he's supposed to arrive at school and the time he's supposed to leave school. And if he doesn't, you're notified that he didn't get to school when he was supposed to, or he didn't leave school when he was supposed to. And I'm just using school as an example. It's a great tool for if you have somebody going to therapy at a certain time, or you have a loved one who perhaps is taken on employment and they have to get to work at a certain time, you could be notified if they don't get to their job when they're supposed to and things like that. So it really is proactive in a lot of different ways. Now, there's a lot of tools that go along with this as well. I'm just going to quickly go through a few. The device does update every 30 seconds or so, but if you needed to update quickly, you could set up the runner mode where it would update about every 15 seconds or so. It's really just if there was a crisis situation and the updates needed to come more frequently. It does deplete the battery life a little bit, so we typically tell people unless you really need it, you shouldn't use it. Show my location is my favorite feature on this. It basically means that, for example, here you can see the names of the streets, what interstate he's nearby, anything like that, by looking at the map. But if they were in an area that was on a beach, in a wooded area, or even a huge amusement park or something where there aren't defined streets, you can do the show my location. And it immediately, this is exactly where I am right now. It shows where I am and it shows where he is. So I know what direction to go find him. I have had to use this before on the beach, and I was able to get to my son very, very quickly because I knew which direction to go into to find him. So it is a great tool for that. Just go back really quick. We also have the alarm feature on the device, which is really amazing that if you have maybe somebody who is nonverbal or, God forbid, non-responsive, and you know they're close by and you need to find them, you can set an alarm off on your device and it will take you to them. Perfect example, if your child maybe hides in a clothing store and you don't know where they turned, you can set an alarm off on the device and it's loud enough where you can find your way to them. Just go back really quick. Just a couple more really quick. First responders. This is, I want to preface this by explaining what guardians are. When you get your device, you can set up other guardians on the app. They would have their own login information, be able to log in on their phone or on their tablet or computer, but they have 24/7 access to the person wearing the device. So for me, it's just me and my husband. That's all that needs to be a guardian. But you can also have what's called first responders. This is people that you can sign up into your app, which is just putting their email and phone number. And if, God forbid, there was an emergency, you could send them an emergency alert. They would get a notification on their phone that says, help me find Tommy, with a link. And when they tap on that link, it immediately brings them to a live, in real time shot of where my child is. And they're able to help out with the search. Those links too are temporary, which is great. So it's not as though they'll have access whenever they want to go back to tap on that link. But it is a really great tool if you just need people to help out if there was a crisis. And then along those lines, we have share live location. This would be somebody who you don't have set up as a first responder. Again, let's just say for the sake of argument, a person wandered off and they are so far away from you that you can't get to them in time, and perhaps you need to get law enforcement involved or something like that. All you need is their cell number, and you can just share the live location, and then they have access as well. If I had any of your cell phone numbers right now, I could pop it right in here, and within 5 or 6 seconds, you would get a text message with the link, and you could actually see where my son was at that moment. So again, great tool for when you just need that immediate help and you're not close by to the person who may have wandered. And then we have the voice features. There is 1- and 2-way voice on the device itself. The 1-way feature, when you call the device will not ring. It will silently open up and you can hear how they're doing. It's really great if you have a person who has a lot of auditory issues, or maybe they're not verbal, so there's no need for them to have to hear you. You can just hear how they're doing. And then you have the 2-way calling, whereas if you use that, this device actually rings and it picks up automatically and it acts as a speakerphone, and you can have a 2-way conversation with the person that you need to speak to. The 2-way is really one of the most amazing things when it comes to independence with this. This is what allows me to let my son have some independence and do some things without me right there on top of him. He cannot manipulate his cell phone to call me if there was a problem. And if I gave him a cell phone and tried to call him, he would not be that great at picking it up and answering me. So the fact that he hears this ring and knows in a couple of seconds he's going to hear my voice, we can have a conversation. Tommy, stop. Stay where you are, I'm coming to get you, or something along those lines. And then in turn, we have an SOS button on the device that if you push down on it, or the guardian would be notified that the person wearing the device wants you to call them. Again, a great feature if you have somebody who may not be able to manipulate a cell phone properly, and they just might be nervous in some situation, and they just know at the push of a button, their primary caregiver will be able to call them and see if everything is okay. One final thing too, it does have fall detection, which you can enable. I have a 9-year-old boy. I don't enable it because I'd get a fall detection notice every 5 seconds because he's a boy. But my mother does have this device as well, specifically for that. She's 86 and she's got all her faculties. She's sharp as a tack, but she's prone to falling. So she has this device, and if she was to fall, I'm notified and I can call the device and it'll pick up and I can talk to her immediately to see if everything is okay. The device is waterproof. So if you were to wander into a body of water or fall into a pool or something like that, you can still track the individual wearing it. It's not designed for swimming. So we do have waterproof options if you want to spend the day at the beach or the pool or something like that. And then the battery life is roughly about 24 hours. So you do need to charge it daily. There are ways to extend that battery life though. So if you need this to go into the evening hours, you could set it to charge when you're in a car. You could set it to charge while you're having dinner or bathing or something like that. And the charge is relatively quick where you can get it back up to a full charge. That's pretty much the gist of everything. I can tell you from a parental standpoint, like I had mentioned earlier, this has literally changed the life of my family, where we always felt like Tommy would just have to be at my side at all times. He's actually afforded himself some sociability, which I can see has really increased his just behavior and overall well-being, and ultimately just peace of mind for my family has just been amazing. So I can't say enough about the device. I'm a true believer, but bottom line is I'm happy to answer any questions if they have to do with use cases or anything that I might have missed. But Caitlin and I are here if you have any questions.
I typed a question into the into the chat box just about schools. How do they respond to this technology? Like, because you have a two-way or, just how do they respond to this?
Yeah, it's an excellent question. And I'm sorry I didn't go over that with you. We have, AngelSense does have a team of school liaisons that specifically deal with schools to help them through this. I mean, I can tell you full disclosure, I was a school principal. And if a child came into my school wearing a device I knew nothing about, I'd have a lot of questions because you have got, hundreds of other kids. So I completely understand where their questions may come from. Their biggest concern is the speakerphone and the one-way calling where a family might be able to listen as to what's going on. So we have a couple of options there. We can disable the one-way calling during school hours. It's actually set up in the app and the parents don't do it. It's actually done by AngelSense. And we also can have school guardians. So for example, you're the teacher for my son. You would be notified every morning that the one-way calling has been disabled, and then you're notified at the end of the day that the one-way calling has been enabled. So that, I think, has really helped our relationship with schools, knowing that that feature can be temporarily turned off during the school day. And it also makes parents feel better that the child can still wear the device because, God forbid, if they wandered, they can still, have access to finding him. Now, along those lines, we've even gone further. There's a lot of schools that want this device on the child because the child in their building is prone to taking off. So we can have what's called school guardians that not only would have a notification for calling features or whatnot, but they actually have temporary access to the app only during the school day. So if there was, God forbid, an elopement in the school, the teacher doesn't have to call the parent to say, hey, I think Tommy wandered off. Can you open your app and let us know where he is? The teacher would have the app temporarily during the day so they could help find a loved one. God forbid there was a problem. I hope that makes sense.
Very good. That was a question, the first thing that came to mind, because I know, cell phones and all that stuff, how restrictive, and I didn't know within the school. There's several parents and staff on here. Do you have any questions before we run out of time here for Jeannie about AngelSense? Anything you've seen or anything, if you've used it before, or if, any questions about the system, it's new to you? I see several, some staff here that work with students as well. You feel free to unmute if you want and just ask your question or raise your hand. There's a little reactive button. There's a question, how can we get more info and cost?
There's a couple of things you can do. The cost, I can tell you, if you purchase this individually online, there's always sales, so the price of the device does vary. I would say the general device, if you had to like summarize throughout the course of a year, is around $100, $119. I think the sale's still going on right now, where if you purchase online and you pay for a year in advance, you get the device for free. The service is either $39.99 a month, or if you can pay annually, it's $399 for the year. So it's sort of like getting 2 months free in a way, if you're able to pay that way. The device comes with the sleeve, the fastener, the key, and the charger. And then any other items, if you wanted the belt or the belt clip or any of the other accessories, are a la carte, and there is a pricing list for that as well. In terms of if you wanted more information, there's a couple of things you can do. Caitlin, I can't talk and type at the same time because I'm crazy. So if you could just type in the chat, you can email support@AngelSense if you had questions, or if you are from an like an organization or an agency, you can email orgs@AngelSense to find out more information, or our call number, which hopefully Caitlin can put in the chat. You can always call and ask to speak to somebody for more information. Like I said, the call center, everybody that works there are all moms that use it with their kids. So if you're calling about, is this the right device for my child? Perfect people to talk to help you through that. If you're an organization or a school or an agency or something like that, that has more information about just how this could be purchased for another family, then you could ask to speak with somebody that works in the agency department, which is me and a whole team of other gals, and we can talk to you as well.
Is there one question when you talk about cost? Does AngelSense fall under any of the funding, any of the waivers or anything like that? Do you know, has any parents been able to use like those kind of funds?
Yes, absolutely. It's funded. We are providers in the state of Ohio. Through the Medicaid waiver, the IO waiver, the self waiver, and the, I can't remember, 3 waivers.
Level 1?
Level 1, thank you. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
So you could speak to your county about reaching out to us, your Department of Developmental Disabilities, to reach out to us to get the ball rolling. We are new to the provider status, so I don't even think we've started with Salt County yet in terms of anybody wanting to purchase, but we can definitely work with the county on getting this funded for any families. And if you're from the county and you need other information, then you would reach out through orgs@AngelSense to speak with one of us and we can talk to you.
Great. Thank you very much for your presentation. I'm going to close the recording real quick in case somebody else has any questions and just want to speak without being recorded. 1 second. And thank you again. That was a wonderful presentation. Thank you for presenting for us today.
Thank you very much.